All right, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Let's Move Canada. We are your hosts, Dana and Luigi. And on today's episode, we will talk with Marc Lebert about his journey in the fitness industry, the creation of Lebert Fitness, and how his innovative tools are helping people across Canada and around the world move better and live healthier lives. And before we introduce Marc, let me start by saying that this podcast is brought to you by Let's Move Canada, whose mission is to make Canada the fittest nation on earth by 2030. And to this end, of course, our podcast aims to raise awareness about physical and mental health. And now, let's introduce Marc. So we're super excited to have someone who's truly transformed the way that people think about movement and strength training. Now, Marc is the founder and chief fitness officer of Lebert Fitness and the inventor behind popular fitness tools like the Lebert Equalizer, the Buddy System, and the Stretch Strap. His creations are now used in gyms, schools, and even at home all around the world. In addition to being a fitness innovator, Marc is a speaker, coach, black belt martial artist, and a passionate advocate for making fitness fun, accessible, and inclusive. We're super excited to learn more about his story, his mission, and how we can build all a stronger, healthier community around us, especially through movement. Marc, super excited to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
So we always start off with a similar first question, and ours is, where did you grow up and were you very active as a child?
Well, thank you for having me. And yeah, I grew up in Sarnia, Ontario, and I was always extremely active. I lived there for about 7 years and I moved to a small town, and I was always into sports, my motorbike. We grew up in a small farming community, so always super active. As a matter of fact, playing soccer I was just chatting about this the other day. I would go around our property. It was a farming property with trees, and I would go in and out of the trees nonstop until the sun went down and I got called in, and the neighbors would be like, "Marc, who's winning?"
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I was obsessed with soccer. My mom's Dutch, and her family, grew up with soccer balls in their feet, and they are always helping me. And yeah, it was a big obsession when I was a kid. So yeah, always
Oh, that's
active.
fun. So you were in a
Soccer.
small little town. Did you like how many people in your class?
Yeah, we're elementary school, like maybe 20. It was
Okay.
very small. And then I went to a high school in another town where all the local communities fed into it. So that was about 1,200. But yeah, very small town. Like the
I
town
grew up in
that's,
a pretty small town, so our grade six class was 9 people.
oh, wow.
It was not, so
That's a
everybody knew
small town.
everybody, and we
Yeah.
had we didn't have teams because there's only 9 of us, so
Oh,
like
wow.
combine different grades and stuff to play. But I loved soccer. I played soccer actually, like in the community team in the town, and until one day I scored on my own net and I quit. And I was so upset about it that I like never went back, which is terrible. Don't ever do that. Don't do what I did.
No, I'm pretty sure I've done it. Yeah, we all
Yeah.
done it. It happens.
Yeah, but you kept going. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Did you have like an active family? Were your parents active too?
Yeah, they were. My dad grew up playing hockey. He was always out like in the Laurentians canoeing. He liked being outside. And my mom and dad, probably because they had 5 kids, went for a walk every day. So they
Oh,
walked
that's
to
nice.
the church and back, and then we all had our chores. So it was partly because probably um, to try to survive and escape from the kids, but also they were very active. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good idea to keep your family active though. Go for a walk every day. That's a nice
Absolutely.
routine. So tell us about Lebert Fitness
Yeah.
and what inspired you to start it and what products you have, and just tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, kind of like everything in my fitness journey, I just kind of fell into it. I was doing a lot of in-home personal training, and I needed a portable, simple little tool that was, didn't take up a lot of room, wasn't too expensive. And inspiration just hit me one day, and I called a buddy who works in Hamilton at a steel factory and said, I need to weld up an idea that I have. And I brought a case of beer, course, because that's what a good Canadian boy does, and welded up the first set of equalizers. From there, I'm going to trade shows and I'm showing it off, and it looks like, we have something here. And then, yeah, that was 22 years ago, and now we sell them all over.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are some things you sell?
So we sell our equalizers, of
Okay,
course.
yeah.
That's kind of like our flagship product. And then we have
What is an
different
equalizer?
sizes.
What does that do?
Oh shoot! Of course, I don't have one here. An equalizer is a set of parallel. Looks like, well, they call them portable dip bars. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
do everything from incline chest press to dips to get underneath and do rows to use it for agility, use it for mobility. It's a little bit of everything. Yeah,
Okay. Okay. Yes, I know exactly what you're referring to. That's cool. So and
yeah,
it's like portable.
they're portable. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing. What's another one of your products?
So we have a HIT suspension trainer that allows for unilateral movements, and you can use it with a partner. We have our parallettes, we have our gliders. We have a lot of different things now that aren't necessarily proprietary to like things I came up with, but we have a whole line of what I would call small studio tools. So stuff you can use like in boot camps, in school settings, small operators, home use. So yeah,
So if someone's at home and they want to be active, work out, but they don't have maybe a lot of space,
yeah,
or they want to buy the whole big thing, right? That's like
yeah.
crazy. Then they can, okay, and that's all available on your website.
It's all available, and when people work out at home or anywhere for that matter, you really just need your body. You can do so many body weight exercises, and what we call our tools are enhanced body weight training. So we'll take a simple exercise like like a push up, and you add the equalizers, and now you have all kinds of different options. So it just adds some variety,
Mhm.
adds a little bit of challenge, and like you said, it's simple, very cost effective, and
Mhm.
people I think complicate fitness. It's really quite simple. It's hard to do.
Yeah, and it's hard to stay consistent sometimes. But okay, so what would your advice be to someone who is just starting out?
uh, you know, keep it simple. Really, that is the key. Start walking every day. People often ask me, "Can I train every day?" It's like, yeah, I grew up on a farm, and it's not like you can't not go in the fields or not go take care of the cattle. Like you have to work every day. So that's movement. So move every day, just like Let's Move Canada.
Mhm.
Move every day and make it not just a priority, but make it a non-negotiable. Like I'm going to go for, even if it's just 5 minutes. And I think that's where people get kind of hung up. It's like they overcomplicate things. Maybe I need a formal program. Maybe I need this equipment. Maybe I need this program. No, just walk, start with 5, 10 minutes, and then just build from there.
I like that also, like what you're saying about working out, you can get these exercises at home, right? You don't have to drive to the gym because sometimes it's just you're busy and you don't have time, or you just the idea of having to go and do that is overwhelming. But if you have
Yeah.
some fitness stuff at home and you know it's there, and it's like, okay, I have like 10 minutes right now where I can just go in there and do some body weight kind of stuff, right? And it's over
Yeah.
10 minutes. It's not like,
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're absolutely right with the word overwhelming. Sorry to interrupt you, but
oh, no,
that
no,
is
go.
it's such a key word because people do get overwhelmed because they're like they have busy lives and I got to add one more thing to my life and they get overwhelmed by it. So just keep it really simple, work in 5 minutes here, work in 5 minutes here, work in 5 minutes here. Don't overcomplicate it. Go for a walk after dinner. I mean, if we're going to get Canada moving again, let's start with, no barriers. A walk is, what do you need? A pair of shoes. There's no barriers. Just need a few minutes to get out. And all the, you know, diabetes is overwhelming our healthcare system. And it simply can be, type 2, just a walk every day. Like it's not a complicated thing. I don't need to, dramatically change my lifestyle to get huge benefits. And I think people need to understand that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so this whole week I've been helping my husband remodels homes, and I was helping him all week, and I was like, I have not been this active in the
Yeah.
past like year. This is the most active I've been. And I wasn't going to the gym, but I was like lifting lumber and
Yep.
tiling and like scrubbing floors. I'm like, oh my gosh, this was crazy. And so when people also think about like being active, there's also things that you can do in your daily life, like house cleaning or
Yep.
housework, or like you were on a farm. So I don't know if you grew up on a farm and like carried bales of hay or something, but there's so many different. We actually had a woman on here that started a thing outside of Toronto called Farm Girl Fitness. and
Oh,
their
okay.
whole
Yeah.
thing, it's so cool. It's like she has this big farm, so she started this workout on her farm where people just like roll hay bales and like run.
Yeah.
It's it's cool, but it's just important like to keep moving, keeping active, and there's so many different ways to do it, whether it's like you're saying, like going for a walk, getting one of your pieces of equipment and just being at home, or going to the gym, or doing something active with your, there's just so many different things and because I get overwhelmed too, thinking like, oh my gosh, how am I going to fit in going to the gym today? Right? Like it's just not going to happen. So if you can do just like incorporate it in some other ways or break it down, or, I also yesterday, literally typed into Chat GPT, like, give me an 8-minute workout.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
And it just like, it's like jump squats and some push-ups.
Yeah.
And, it's literally 8 minutes, and it is so much better than doing nothing, right? In the day.
100%. And some exercises like jump squats have a lot of bang for your buck. I was at a Starbucks, and the barista was saying to me she doesn't have time to work out. I'm in there all the time. What do you do? And I said, well, no one's behind me in line. Let's just do together. I set my timer on my phone, I put on the counter. Let's do 1 minute of jump squats without stopping. And we did it together. And she was dying. And the next day I come in, she goes, oh my God, I can feel my legs. I go, yeah, you did 1 minute of exercise. And
That's
literally,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
And so it's, when people say they don't have time, it's fine. Maybe you don't, but I think everybody can do a minute or two, or even 8 minutes.
Yeah. And I upped it because originally it said 45 seconds, 15 seconds rest, right? Like that was it for these 5 different movements. And we also had somebody on, Martin Gabala, who wrote about the 1 minute workout, and
Yeah.
it was literally like, because it's overwhelming to think like I have to work out for an hour if I want to have any results, but you don't need to go to the gym for an hour every day, right? It just like what you're saying. She did 1 minute of jump squats and she's feeling her
Yeah.
legs, right? So it's how to make it more simple, because we're trying to, I mean, Let's Move Canada, right? We're trying to target people too that are not already active. So it's easy to get people
Yeah.
that are already working out
Yeah.
to just keep working out, right? But it's like, how do you get people that aren't working out yet, or aren't active yet, or aren't moving, to move and consistently move?
What you'll often find is getting started is the hardest part. Like getting to the gym's the hard part. Maybe the first 5 minutes is hard, but then the adrenaline's going, you're caught up in the excitement, you're feeling your body. And like you said, you did 8 minutes, but you probably felt like doing 10. So once you get going, you get that momentum, and it just kind of feeds. Oh, I feel good now. I have a little more energy. I'm going to keep going, maybe get 15 minutes instead of the 8 minutes. So it's just really the hardest part is getting started. So for people who are listening to this, just go do it right now. Like hit pause, do your jump squats, come back and sit down. It's really that simple. And I think also it's mindset too, because I have a bunch of different feelings about all of this. Sometimes when people say to me, it's very refreshing when people say, I'm absolutely not going to work out right now. I actually commend that, because it's like, you have to know yourself, right? And you have to be honest with yourself, because what's really difficult for people saying, oh, I should work out, I have to work out, I'm not working out, I feel bad, I feel awful. And then just this misery and this long-standing lack of doing what you say is important, right? So a lot of people say it's important, they don't do it, and it just weighs on them heavily. So just make a real conscious decision. I'm not going to work out at this time, I'll revisit it tomorrow, right? And if you do that, it takes away all that unconscious stress, which eventually becomes strain. Yeah. So I like when people say, absolutely not going to work out. I have a new job. I have a kid. It's going to take some time. Great. That's fine.
Yeah. No, that I totally agree with that, because then it takes the pressure off.
Takes the pressure off. Yeah. And then you might actually feel more like doing it.
Yeah. And be more
And
successful.
Right. We put so much pressure on ourselves with everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And that we talk about this sometimes too in Lessons of Canada, about the messaging. Like, obviously, I mean, I'm on Instagram all the time. We're on Instagram, we're on social media. And you have, if you're constantly looking at other people that are working out and they're doing these fitness influencers, and you can it's easy. I think sometimes people get like, that's even overwhelming, right? Like, I'm not going to be a fitness influencer, right? And they think that they have to put in like, it just can be a little bit intimidating in some ways, right? So, but it's So trying to get it just like to relate to the everyday person who's not a fitness influencer, who's not a
Yeah.
professional athlete,
Yeah.
but wants to be active for their health and their like health span and their longevity and just like general well-being.
I agree. And it's funny you're saying this right now because today I taught, I guest taught, not guest taught, it's my gym, but one of my instructors is away for summer vacation. So I taught for her. And during the course of the class and after class, I took a picture of everybody's in class because they all had very different goals. One guy showed me his belt. He goes, Mark, no more notches. This is my second belt since coming here. So he's getting results that are great for him. And then another guy, and he wanted to show me his arms. He goes, Mark, I've been training 3 years here and I'm finally starting to get some arms. And another lady, she went and did like a cleanse for a while and came back to class and she's down a few pounds. And now she's like, I just want to be consistent and move because I feel joyful when I move. So that's her goal, is just feel that joyfulness rather than sitting at a desk all day, because that can be depressing. Movement does create a lot of feel-good hormones in our system. And for people that haven't felt that in a while, when you start moving, like, oh my God, I was missing that. And then there was another guy who's just very active at our club every day at lunch because he's a general manager at a big corporation and he's making decisions all day and he needs to just unwind for that hour for his mental health, to be told what to do rather than telling him. So it was just weird. I had 6 people, I'm going to post this tomorrow, 5 or 6 people that had completely different reasons for being there. And I just love that. It just made me
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good thing to remember too. Is like everyone's different. Everyone's got their own goals and their own lives and like different things that they're working on. And yeah, no, that's really cool. So and it's probably very inspiring for them to talk to you about it too. No, knowing, yeah.
Absolutely.
What about like nutrition wise? Do you follow a certain diet or how does that work?
So really a complicated question for me because I don't love when I'm with clients, personal training clients, I'll outsource that because I don't love nutrition in terms of I know the basics. I find people get really uber focused on it when my kind of philosophy is a little more, I go by feel. I'm an intuitive eater and I prioritize protein. I think most people overeat because they're dehydrated and tired. So there's lots of things around nutrition. So it's a complicated subject. So I do my best with clients, but if they want a specific diet, I will outsource that. I do really like certain supplements like creatine, electrolytes with magnesium, like CamPrep does amazing stuff. We're going to doing a little promotion with them right now. I love their products. But back in the day, I always used to joke when I was a young trainer, and I'm not embarrassed to say it because I've said a lot of dumb things as a young trainer. But I used to just say, like, if I was going to write a book on fitness, the nutrition chapter would say, just work harder. And that's not true for everybody. But for a lot of times, I think people underestimate how hard they're working in the gym and underestimate how many calories they're taking in, because it's really easy to take in calories, and overestimate how hard they're working.
Okay, great.
Recently, and this isn't for everyone, but this works really well for me. Recently in North Carolina, of all places, I got sick on shrimp, bad shrimp of all places. I'm in Rome. I want to have shrimp there. And I was in my hotel room. I was supposed to be at a conference for 2 days. I was just sick. And then I was really lean coming out of it and feeling really energetic, strangely enough. I said, okay, so I wasn't a big breakfast guy anyways, but they always tell you have to eat breakfast, but do you really? I think everyone's different. So I don't generally eat until about 12:01. I get home from my morning work. I drink a few coffees. I have my electrolytes. I hydrate really well and walk my puppy, and then I'll have lunch, and then I'll eat again tonight after this call. So that for me works really well. I stay super energetic, super lean. My body's not constantly processing food. It's funny, like when people feel hunger pains, I think that we've been conditioned for our brains to say, oh my God, I got to eat. And it's like, no, you maybe, but maybe not. Maybe take a breath and take a moment, get a glass of water. You don't always have to fill our face with food. We're so over nutritioned here.
Right. So that's interesting. So a couple things, like I just eating when you're hungry, right? Like that's even that step. Because a lot of people, they think, okay, we're supposed to eat 3 meals a day,
Mhm.
right? So even if I'm not hungry, I'm not saying me personally, but even if somebody is not hungry, they're like, oh, I can't skip a meal. I can't miss my meal, so I have to eat it, right? And it's like, well, but maybe not, right?
Right.
Like maybe we eat when we're hungry, and that's how that works, right? Maybe not
Yeah.
just like, oh, it's 9 a.m., so I need to eat a big breakfast, and now it's 12, so I need to eat a big lunch, and then
Yeah.
it's like I think your body has a really good way of telling you like what you need, right? And
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
you should listen to that more than you should listen to the you need to eat 3 square meals a day type of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to
And
overeat that way.
it's so easy to overeat, and it's so easy to overeat when you're taking a lot of carbs. So make sure you get your proteins, enough protein every day. Protein are the building blocks. I'm not saying carbs are the enemy, but usually the types and the amounts are. So make sure your carbs are the right types and the right amounts, and really prioritize protein and hydration. I think you'll go really far with your
And
nutrition.
that's
Yeah.
another like protein, the emphasis on protein versus maybe carbs or fats or
Yeah.
whatever. I had to
Yeah.
learn that. I didn't know about this until pretty recently, but um like obviously you need more carbs, more energy on times where you're super active. You're gonna
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
more. But if days where you're not and you're sedentary and you're on your computer all day, you're not gonna
Yeah.
need as much, obviously, as the days that
Yeah.
you're active. So it's, you got to kind of go with that and remember how protein is really important, and there's lots of lean proteins and good proteins that you can get. So yeah, nutrition and we talk a lot about, exercise and movement, but nutrition is huge, right? Like that's a whole nother part of like half the equation.
It really is. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people say 80-20, but I think it's probably a little more half, because I think, prioritize protein, stay hydrated, like you said, healthy fats, move daily,
Mhm.
and love the heck of love the heck of the food, love the heck of that glass of wine.
Yeah.
Don't unless you're getting on stage and you got to get so unhealthy, scary, lean, like just
Right.
enjoy. We're here to enjoy food and enjoy life. I don't know why we have so much hangups. It's like, go to Europe. Oh my goodness, it's a
Oh
different
man,
mindset
when I'm in
altogether.
Europe, I'm like eating pizza and pasta every day,
Yeah,
drinking wine every day. And I
yeah,
don't gain weight. I swear to God. It's like, because I think I thought about this. I was talking to my husband about this. I'm like, we go to Europe, we can go and eat all the food, drink all the wine, but we're walking everywhere. We're
you're
walking a
walk
lot.
you're walking everywhere. The food isn't genetically modified. It's healthy. It's fresh. I remember I was just telling a client the other day. He's just started here, and he's wants to know how many calories to take in to start to get lean. So he's in calorie deficit every day. He's training hard. And he's doing things perfect. And we got on. I went to Europe a lot for Form Better, which is a fitness equipment company, and taught at their summits in Munich. And the
Mhm.
Munich Gardens, the beer, like you were never hungover because it didn't have all this stuff in it. It didn't have like probably tons of pesticides, glyphosate and stuff in it. It didn't have all the preservatives, and so it was just so joyful. Like the food there is just so it's life.
Yes,
It truly is.
I love it. I love that about it. Yeah. So we're getting close to our time, but
Oh, that was quick.
um, that went really fast.
Yeah.
Um, So we talked about nutrition, and then what do you tell us about like Lebert Fitness's goals over the next few years?
Yeah, well, a lot of things have changed with commodities. It's quite difficult selling products anymore because of the Amazon, the knockoffs. It's a race to the bottom. So we're really focused on support. We're focused on digital products. We're focused on other brands. We just brought in 9 Round, which is a fitness kickboxing brand based out of Carolina. So we're now the master franchisor. So that's a big project for us. And of course, our physical location here, we have a gym here. So yeah, a lot of moving parts, develop and bring new products to market, try to help out as many people as we can, keep the messaging simple and fun. And yeah, that's kind of our goals. It's been a tough growth in the last few years. Last few years is just hanging on because, the gym was closed for so long. and the product side, the cost of shipping, the cost of steel, everything's changed. The landscape has changed. So always navigating all these things. Business is challenging, but that's why you have to have energy. That's a lot of people don't have the energy to handle it. So just get those electrolytes, get that protein, work out every day.
Yeah, I agree. The energy boost for me is what keeps me going. Honestly,
Yeah.
Keeps me consistent because without it, I feel lethargic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like crazy. And I mean, obviously on some days I just want to lay on the couch. It's like maybe on a Sunday and watch a movie or whatever.
Absolutely.
But during the week, have my glass of wine, watch a movie. I mean, I have a song about this, but but in general, like I want to feel energized. I want to feel active. I want to keep moving. It's like enjoy life, all the things you're saying, and moving and being active. And I also take creatine every day, and
Excellent.
yeah, and it really does boost my energy levels. I really feel it. So great advice. And so our last question for you is, what is one thing that Canada should be focused on more when it comes to health and physical activity?
Well, I think there's so many places I can go with this. I think we all need to lead by example, right? There's a lot of talk about health and fitness and that we should, and we got to walk the talk, us as fitness professionals and us leading the charge. Obviously, it's important for us, but for parents, work out in front of your kids. People, members bring their kids here and their kids see them working out. This is so important rather than just saying it's important, because the kids will do what we do, not what we say. So let's lead by example. Let's get out there as adults and start to show, like the panel that we had with Ted and everyone, talking about getting them in the school, starting in the school. So the teachers and the parents, let's start showing our kids what this is all about.
Absolutely. Yes, lead by example. Great way to end.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
Again, Marc, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you to everyone who tuned into this episode. Again, we're your hosts, Dana and Luigi, and to learn more about Marc and Lebert Fitness, you can visit the website at lebertfitness.com. That is LEBERTFITNESS.com, or follow Marc on Instagram at MARC_LEBERT. In addition, make sure to check us out on Instagram at Let's Move Canada for latest updates, and head over to our website at letsmovecanada.com to learn more about our mission. And don't hesitate to DM us if you're interested in being a guest on Let's Move Canada, or you kind of just have any suggestions for us. Thank you again for tuning in, and see you next time.